There's no place like the Qube. Family, it's your favorite queer radio personality, Anna DeShawn, and this is Queer News, your favorite weekly news pod where race and sexuality meet politics, culture, and entertainment. I want y'all to know we have our 10th annual Purple Tie Gala concert and silent auction coming up on Saturday, October the 7th. I started this gala when I turned 30. Child, now I'm 40. That's a thing, and we're celebrating our 10th anniversary. In Chicago, come join us. Not in Chicago. You can participate in our silent auction. It's online. This year, we're giving back to One Roof Chicago. One Roof Chicago is an initiative to build a welcoming and inclusive intergenerational community for older adults and young people most in need of affirming housing, meaningful connection, and career development. Don't you want to give back to that? I know you do. So you can get a ticket, you can donate a ticket, or you can make a donation directly to the organization. Check the link in the show notes. Now, if you enjoy what you hear in today's episode, consider joining the QCrew. The QCrew is our queer news community. Your recurring monthly donation will help supplement the cost for the podcast hosting, editing, marketing, PR, travel. Child, it's a lot, okay? If you believe in the work we do, if you believe LGBTQ stories need to be amplified, if you love and respect how I report on the news and tell our stories, join the QCrew. A link is, of course, in the show notes. Now for the news. Tennessee has elected its first trans woman lawmaker in the state's history. GLAAD convened some of the best Black queer creatives in the country, and y'all, I was there. And it's Hispanic Heritage Month, so we're going to show love today and every week this month by highlighting some Latinx LGBTQ heroes. Today, we're going to celebrate Angie Xtravaganza. So stay close, because after this quick break, I'll be back with the news. Let's go.
What has 144 players, 12 teams, and one league that you should tap into? If you guessed the WNBA, you already know. If you didn't, we'll get you up to speed real quick. My name is Money, and this is Rebound Revolution, bringing you the revolutionary on and off the court happenings in the W. Join me and a special guest each week as we watch them work. Listen to Rebound Revolution wherever you get your podcasts.
You are now tuned in to higher frequencies. We do this frequently. Turn your radio station to E3 for that decency. Listen to great music and the latest movement. Safe listening for anyone that's tuned in. Who you waking up to? Anna DeShawn, QCrew and friends. It's that real talk. Online radio with the spins. You caught up in traffic, frustrated. Just check in with E3 to shift your vibrations and get elevated. That's queer radio done right. Choose to be yourself. That's the only way to live life, and that's how it's done here. Just know y'all tuned in to the greatest. Ain't no competition. We ain't worried about the other stations. Check.
In politics, Tennessee has made history in favor of LGBTQ rights. Can you believe that? All I've been reporting on for the last year and a half is all of the anti-trans bills coming out of Tennessee. I mean, they've introduced 26 just this year. But not today. That's not what we're talking about today. Today, we're talking about Olivia Hill, a trans woman who has won a seat on the Nashville Metro Council. This makes her Tennessee's first trans lawmaker ever in the state's history. The city council serves as the city's primary legislative body. And now there's trans representation? Come on. In Tennessee? Congratulations, Councilwoman Hill. You did a thing. You did a thing. In culture and entertainment news, I want to tell y'all about my time this past weekend. Y'all already know how it is when I'm traveling. I tend to incorporate my experience into the pod, right? Because it's typically queer. And this weekend was especially special. I had the honor of being part of GLAAD's first ever Black Queer Creative Summit. It took place in LA and gathered 150 of the best Black queer creatives across the country. From my understanding, 500 folks applied. They accepted 150, and there were 7 of us from the Midwest. I think I may have been the only person from Chicago. I know Detroit was in the building. Omaha, Nebraska was in the building. You know, I got to show love to my Midwest peeps. And it's so dope because when GLAAD put out the application, the call for applications, I didn't see it, but my BFF did. He sent it my way, like, you better apply. I said, say less. Okay, I applied. And when I got word that I was accepted, I was really blown away. I was so excited, anxious, whenever you go into new spaces, right? But just so excited for the possibilities of the thing, to be sharing space with some of my favorite creators, right? There are so many of us out here doing our own things. And so to be considered part of that magic is pretty freaking special, period. And let me tell you about this program, okay? GLAAD covered all of our costs, all of them. Travel, hotel, food, everything. When I arrived, they actually had a driver pick us up from the airport. Like, there was somebody there with a placard with my name on it. It was the dopest thing on the planet. Big ups to Joe. He got us to the hotel safely. Okay, I've never had a driver in my life. It was such a cool experience. I met my first cohort homie actually at the airport, Eliza Turner. She actually co-produced Charlene Carruthers' film, The Funnel. And that's so dope because Charlene is from Chicago, known her from community spaces for a really, really long time. And so for Eliza to be the first person I met, it felt like the universe said, this is exactly where you're supposed to be. So dope. And that was only the beginning. That was the first 30 minutes of me landing in LA. When we got to the hotel to check in, I could tell it was so organized, so well produced, so well done, so thoughtful, okay? And I'm a Virgo. I love everything about that. When I told one of my homies, okay, that I was going to the summit and that it was going to be in LA, she was like, I hope you have a good time, okay? Because LA people can be, I was like, I know I'm going to have a good time. I'm manifesting an amazing time. This is going to be everything that I imagine. And she was like, okay, I hope so. Now, I have no doubt that some of that is true about LA. I get it. But that is not what this was. This was different. We were all there to learn from each other, support each other, learn from experts they brought in, figure out how we can work with each other going forward. There were so many disciplines of art, musicians, animators, filmmakers, podcasters, actors, directors, producers, screenwriters. I mean, everything you ever needed for a creative project was in that room. It was at this summit. Literally handing my phone to someone and us doing the whole follow on IG thing was so normal. Like, it was just what was happening. Nothing even needed to be said. Follow back. It was beautiful. And for me, it was really surreal too. Like, really surreal. Being in a space with some of my favorite creators like Trav with Queerency, Kai Thomas, Dina Williams, DJ Liquid, you know? Leaders like Kiera Johnson, David Johns, Marjorie Harris, artists I've interviewed but never met in person, like Never Ending Nina, Adomiko, and Vincent. Then there were influencers who actually participated in the summit with us, like Hope Giselle, Ashley Marie Preston, Cedra Smith, Alfonso Mills, Dr. James Simmons, Dr. John Paul. Like, these people are just around. Influencers just walking around being human. Like T.S. Madison, Angelica Ross, Kaylin Allen, Nico Anan, Asian, Jordan Cooper, Travell Anderson, Kid Fury, Raquel Willis, and Kit Ken. Like, whose life is this? What is happening? What is happening right now? Oh, that's right. It's my life. It's my life. What? There really aren't words to describe the feeling of being in such a revolutionary space like this for 3 days. 3 days. Opening reception, 2 days of talks and panels, closing receptions, parties. It was more than I could have imagined it to be. And something that started in one person's imagination, one person's vision. And none of us can say thank you enough to not only GLAAD, but DeShawn Usher. DeShawn joined GLAAD in 2019 as Communities of Color and Media Director. And this is his baby. This is his vision. Something that started in his imagination came to life this past weekend. And I got to squeeze a little bit of his time to talk to him about it. Hear what he had to say.
It's pivotal. It's important. It's needed. It's affirming. It's healing. It's so many words that when people think that the world has told them no, and the world has not or that they don't fit in, or like people just don't understand, or that and I think about alone. I don't know why I'm standing out a lot right now, but I think part of it is that everything that I've done within my career is centered around community. And oftentimes people are told that they are part of a community. And oftentimes those communities don't exist. And it's hard to show people a community if you've never seen a community like you. And so I consistently and constantly am trying to show people the communities that they opt in to be, that they're real. And that once you're a part of that community, it's your responsibility and your due diligence to bring other people along as possible to be there's a real community of people that are like us and not like us and are doing different stuff and doing the same stuff, but there's a network that can be built. There's a network that we can support each other. The goal for this summit literally was that if someone came here, that they would be able to walk away with everything they need for whatever project they want to create. Because those people are in the room. Those people are speaking. They're not inaccessible. The people are here because they want to be here. The programming of all of this is literally, one of the speakers was talking about by design. And it's if we had to design a program for Black queer creatives, what would it look like that they all would need? Yeah, I'm just super excited for what's next and the future that everyone in this room will create.
I can't wait to see what happens next. I met so many people there who are interested in podcasting, who are interested in creating projects, people that I pitched. My friend Trav from Queerency, and if you're not following Queerency, you should go do that today, right now. Go do it. Trav was we're going to look back on this in 10 years and say, I remember when, and look at us now. I feel that. I feel that in my bones. Because you cannot be what you do not see. And in that room, what I saw was magic. I saw possibilities. And DeShawn brought that to life with an amazing team at GLAAD. Julian was always right there, And the entire team from GLAAD, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. For your kindness, for your care, for your affirmation, for your thoughtfulness. I mean, it was just all of that. I'm still processing, and I hope y'all can hear that. But at the end of the day, thank you. If you're hearing this, it means we didn't sell this ad space. If you're hearing this, it means running ads on our podcast actually can work. You see what I did there? You see this real life example? You got an event, do you have an organization, do you got something you need to get the word out about? We got rates starting as low as $100. Check the link in our show notes for more information. Hey, I'm Anna.
And I'm Adele.
And this is the Head Nod, Season 1, Black Life at a PWI.
It's an unfiltered take on Black life in predominantly white spaces.
In the process, we learned some things. Ooh, especially that music, Chile.
Tune in every Tuesday for a new episode wherever you listen to your favorite podcast.
Now, it's Hispanic Heritage Month, and I'd be remiss if we didn't honor some of our community's Latinx icons. So we'll celebrate one person every week of the month. This week, we celebrate Angie Xtravaganza. And I want to thank Remezcla for being our news source for this information. So Remezcla tells us that for many Latinx queer folks in New York, the ballroom scene is where they found their family and where they're able to express themselves. That is in large part due to Angie Xtravaganza, who became house mother of the primarily Latinx ball house, the House of Xtravaganza. Xtravaganza and her house were featured in the groundbreaking documentary Paris is Burning. And under her tutelage, the house produced a number of ballroom and dance legends like Venus Xtravaganza and Madonna's Vogue choreographers, Jose Gutierrez and Luis Camacho. She is remembered as one of the great house mothers in all of ball culture. So if you didn't know Angie Xtravaganza before, now you do. Go find out some more information, That's all this is about. All right, family, y'all know it's the end of the pod, and Anna's always got a word. The word for today is fight. I want you to fight for the things you believe in. I want you to fight for what you believe is right. And that fight will look different for all of us because we have different gifts. Maybe your fight is at home raising your children to grow up and be loving and good human beings, because we need more loving and good human beings out here in the world. Maybe your fight is in the classroom where you're teaching young people about justice and freedom movements. Maybe your fight is in the street through protests and direct action. I fight with this microphone to spread the word and to grow a platform of inclusivity and affirmation of LGBTQ folks, especially those of color. I can go on and on, but I want you to fight how you need to fight. Just don't stop fighting for what's right, okay? Now, till next week, family. Peace. If you enjoyed what you heard, rate and review us inside your favorite podcasting app. This podcast is written and produced by me, Anna DeShawn. Podcast editing by Experience J of Just Listen Media. And brought to you by E3 Radio, your #1 queer radio station playing queer music and reporting on queer news in high rotation.